You are now listening to ForAllNerds Show, a podcast about geek and pop culture from the perspective of people of color. ForAllNerds is hosted by DJ BenHaMeen and Tatiana Jones. ForAllNerds Show is a member of the Loudspeakers Network, where we always say rest in peace to our founder, Combat Jack.
ForAllNerds Show is powered by our listeners. Everything we do, from our podcasts, live events, our website, are all independently funded. Please continue to support us through our Patreon page at patreon.com/ForAllNerds.
Welcome to the Fan Bros!
This is the emergency broadcasting system.
And welcome everyone to another episode of The Lack of Us, a podcast covering The Last of Us from the perspective of people of color. Powered by the good folks at ForAllNerds, where we always say inclusion is revolution. And up in the Petri dish. In the Petri dish, it's your boy DJ BenHaMeen, aka Cordyceps Rex, aka Holy Shit Ellie, aka Smoking on That Gas of Us. And yeah, I need to smoke on something after this episode, but we'll get into that because, as always, I'm joined by
Smoking on That Malaysia Pack. You're joined by Tatiana King, a.k.a. 4 Spores and 7 Years Ago, a.k.a. For Us by The Last of Us, a.k.a. Elliot Ness, a.k.a. The Blacks of Us, a.k.a. Joe Please, whatever. And we are here to talk episode 8 of The Lack of Us, titled When We Are in Need.
And we are in need, and we are lacking in love and sympathy and everything else. And like I've said before about this show, I seriously doubt I would even be watching this if not for the fact that we are reviewing this show, because
Yeah, that last, which one was it? Was it Henry or right before Henry that made you tap out?
Well,
or was it
before
Henry
that.
that okay, you
it
tapped
might
out
have
right
been
before.
like, it might have been episode 3 made me really want to tap out. Like, I've been done.
But it can't be episode 3 because that was before the Bill and Frank episode.
No,
Bill
Bill
and
and Frank
Frank
was
was
3.
Oh, it
I thought that
was?
Yeah, I think so. I think that was 3.
Well, then it was after.
Yeah, no, I was done after Bill and Frank. I was like, okay, that's as good as this is going to get, you know?
Oh,
Like, 'cause, yeah,
you saw it already. Okay. You saw the vision of it being over.
Yeah, because it was like that was so well done, and everything else up until that point had just been very well done zombie drama, as I've said before. And as an aficionado of zombie drama, I'm also kind of burnt out on it, and I haven't seen anything new from The Last of Us besides that episode, I would say, pretty much. And even that wasn't very new. It was just, well done. Very extremely well done. Because you've seen, stories of love in an apocalypse before, if you've read a lot of zombie or watched a lot of zombie drama. So that's already been done. Now, this episode 8, it felt like it's one of them things, and I know this is straight up from the game. In fact, one of our YouTube commenters last week said they couldn't wait to see this episode because they knew that Ellie was going to go ham.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't ham the way I wanted to see it.
No, at all. And there is no ham the way we want to see it in this world. And after seeing it, that was my thing. I was wanting to tell the person, I'm like, yeah, sure, she went ham, but the fact that she had to go ham in this, what caused her to go ham is the real disturbing part of everything. The fact that she has to go through these things in this world she lives in is the horrible part about it. And like I said, I don't really feel the need to watch this type of entertainment that much.
The nail on the head, BenHaMeen, like the circumstances and the context of which she wasn't going ham. She was fighting for her survival.
Yes.
To me, and that's fine, but to me, when my version and when I say a character went ham, whatever euphemism you want to use, it's because they're being badasses, like because they can, not because their life depends on it necessarily. And clearly, most of the time when they, when they're doing their limit break, is because maybe their life depended on it. But this was a different type of life dependent. It wasn't, they was in battle and this was the Jon Snow 1 against 1,000. This was some fucked up shit.
Yeah. And like Jon Snow, as much as he's like, I don't want it, he still chooses it. Ellie did not choose to be in this horrible situation that she finds herself in this episode. And like you said, this is a battle for her life and for everything else. And so, no, I would not consider this going ham. And this was not something that if I had played the game, I would be looking forward to see. And this is one of the reasons why, like, when we first started reviewing the show, I was planning on playing the game and streaming it because I've never played the game, and I was just streaming. I've got it on my PS5 ready to go. And then after the first 2 episodes, I was like, ain't no way I'm playing this game. Because if it's anything like this shit, like, this is more than enough. I don't need to live through this twice. Like, you know.
This was one of the... There's heavy stuff that's been happening all throughout the series, but this was particularly heavy. This was something I was not prepared for. And I'm curious, was this specific stuff in the game? And not to say... Okay, and that happens in
Pretty
game.
100% sure.
I mean, this is not the first time this type of story has been done. Like, this episode was giving me Silent Hill vibes. It was giving me that the whole zombie undead / the worst, the depravity of humanity type of stuff. And this led me. All I kept thinking as I was watching was, this is the shit BenHaMeen was talking about that he does not want to see, and I felt you. And this, like. But if I wasn't feeling you before, I feel you now, BenHaMeen. Like, I was like, holy shit, I don't want to see this. Like, I don't want, just like how, and not just like, but similarly to how I felt about not wanting to see all that shit that happened with Henry and Sam. I was like, holy shit, I really don't want to see this.
What's your famous line? I'd really like this to...
I really like this to end now.
Yeah.
I really like this to be over. I really like this to stop.
Yeah, I really want this to stop.
I really would like this to stop. And I just felt such a heavy air the entire time. It was weighing me down. It was so depraved. And also, it wasn't new, right? We've seen that. We've seen. I mean, I also want to do things the way we normally do, which is talk about the things we like. But, just from an overall perspective, it was a lot.
Yeah.
What did you like about this episode, BenHaMeen?
Well, wait, I had another point that I wanted to make before we get to what
I'm trying to keep it here, but
what I actually like. But okay, I can't remember that point off top right now. So let's get into. Oh shit! In my notes I have this episode was dark as hell as things I like.
It's like you were trying to come up with something positive to say. Well, it was really dark.
I mean, they shot the damn horse. Like, it was like,
bro,
I was like, ain't no way.
What the fuck?
I was like, ain't no way they gonna shoot the horse. And then they shot the horse. I'm like, Jesus, this is like starting off terrible and it's only gonna get worse. I liked that this episode, for what I said, I thought for the most part, I'll say it was well done, like you said. It gave off that whole feeling of dread. I really thought, what's his name? James Bartles and James.
Bartles and James.
Yeah, no,
Troy
David.
Baker.
Yeah, no, David as Scott Shepherd as David. I thought he was incredible. Being like,
David's the preacher.
Yeah, I didn't know if he was incredible. That's different too much.
He was creepy as fuck. Chester the molester.
He was definitely creepy as fuck.
He was a Chester. Like, he played a Chester real goddamn good. Okay, who gives a damn? Like,
yeah.
I didn't want to see. My skin is crawling, BenHaMeen, thinking about this.
Once again, I'm kind of confused by how people follow these people in this world. Like, he did not give off the vibe of someone where, like, even when David questions him, James questions David, and, David bucks up on him and is like, and everybody just goes along with David.
What you say, nigga? No, he didn't say that. What you say, you bitch ass nigga? No, he didn't say that. But BenHaMeen, you know why it happens. When you are at your wit's end, when you're in such a extreme situation, you, just as we see even in non-technically extreme situations, people get caught up in shit. It was a fucking cult.
Yeah, my man got God on his side, so that always works.
It was a cult. At the end of the day, it's a cult. You've seen it happen. You've seen it with the what was
Mandalorian?
The Mandalorian. Yeah, but I'm talking about in real life. Like, you've seen it with the people who was following the comet, who all killed themselves, like 10, 15, 20 years ago. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Because the cult is like, oh, the comet's coming to take us away, and people believe in that shit, and then people going into cults and the man having 50 wives and, stuff that you just like, why would you follow this person? It's like, because for whatever thing these people are lacking or searching for, this person is providing it. A false sense of it, but this person, this leader, this false god, if you will, is providing what they've been looking for, what they've been seeking, whether it's they feel like they belong, whether they feel they have protection, whether they feel they have guidance, fatherhood, as very strangely this David guy tried to make happen. Like, I understood. I wouldn't agree personally.
Mhm.
I understood.
Yeah, and I know desperate things will cause people to do desperate, you know.
Mhm. And
Desperate
also,
situations will lead to desperate actions.
His whole flock was a bunch of scary niggas. Remember,
True.
they said all they did was go from place to place after being run out by raiders, and that they just went from place to place. At some point, stand up,
No. Fight back.
grab a fucking stick and fight. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and again, I get it. Not everyone's built that way. I get it. Not everyone wants to run out Fedra. Not everyone wants to do all this stuff, and that's cool. But stand up.
Fight back.
Fight back, nigga, fight back. But anyway, no, that's not how we work. But back to the good thing about it, like you said, like structurally, again, and I want to be clear when I think when you say this, when I say, oh, this was heavy and I'm depressed and all that doesn't mean it was bad, like from a structural standpoint. From writing and tone and all that, yeah, that was good. It's just that I did not feel good inside watching.
No, okay, and that was the point that I wanted to make earlier, right? I talked about this before. I stopped watching BMF, even though I'm a big fan of all the power. The whole power universe, as 50 calls it. Big fan, seen everything. But BMF this season just dropped a little too much, where I was like, this black on black violence and just the disturbing depravity of the black on black violence was a little too much for me. And I was like, I've seen this before and I've seen it done better. In fact, Bomani Jones on his game theory show, great, watch it on HBO.
Shout out to Rod.
Yep, shout out to Rod. He was talking about, someone asked him, The Wire or Snowfall, and he just looked like, what are you talking about? There's The Wire and there's all these other shows. And someone recently said Snowfall is the best show on TV, a friend of mine, and I was like, ugh. And not that, Snowfall's had its moments, but like Bomani said, he feels like there are a bunch of great actors on Snowfall who have to deal with some of the material that they are sometimes given. They are not always given material up to their standards. And back to the point of why I don't watch it anymore, because I gave up on that. And I watched the first season, about halfway through the second season, I gave up on that. Is because, once again, I was tired of the black on black violence. And I've seen it before on something like The Wire, where it is done to an exceptional level. And after that, it's very tough just to watch some average to good version of it. And that's the same thing that I'm feeling about this show. It's like, this stuff is like ridiculously dark. And I've seen it done before. While this might be one of the better versions of it, I've still seen it done before. Like, The Walking Dead first season was exceptional. The Walking Dead comic book for most of its run was exceptional. And so this is, all the Dawn of the Dead's down the line, George Romero, everything exceptional. So this is just, man, can we talk about things we didn't like?
Sure, man. Well, hold on. Let me, I had things I liked.
Okay. Yeah.
Number one, Joel's alive. So there's that.
Yep. That was great.
He's alive. Number two, Joel calling Ellie baby girl. I felt like that final wall came finally tumbling down of him, like, not trying to, block out his previous life, block out that love, and block out stop the, not just understanding, but not even just realization, the coming to terms with the fact that he loves this girl, this little girl, like he has the fatherly energy for her, all this other stuff. And like that, when she ran out and she thought it was just someone, like, she's at her wit's end. She thought it was just someone else. She got to defend herself. She has no more gas left in the tank.
Yeah.
And for him to embrace her, like, it's me, I got you. Like, you know how strong that is? Just in general, in real life, especially in that situation. I got you, baby girl. It's me. It's me. It's the one person that you could trust. It's the one person you really only trust anyway. It's the one person you dragged across how many, yards of farmland to get me to safety, to try to keep me alive. Because you only trusted me. It's the person that you were so pissed at, where I was being a bitch ass nigga and was afraid to take you, to go see the Fireflies and try to get my brother to do it. But you still stuck with me. You know what I'm saying? Like that's all that stuff came to a head, and it's just like, I'm here for you. I got you. I thought that was beautiful.
Okay, and then you made me think of some more things that I did actually enjoy about this episode. I really enjoyed Ellie negotiating and getting the medicine, and how she was kept her wits about her and everything, and got the
Yes, she did
medicine for
good.
Ellie.
She did
I mean,
good.
for Joel. And then I really enjoyed, even though I've been talking about how I don't like violence and all that, too much. I do like seeing people go ham when they have a choice in going ham, and
That.
seeing Joel go ham on these clowns was quite great. Especially, I really like the point of Joel killing. I keep getting mixed up, James, because
Jesus Jr.
Jesus Junior James,
Yeah.
because James plays Joel in the game. Say that 5 times fast.
Oh, he's a voice actor?
Yes, Troy Baker, who plays James, plays Joel in the games The Last of Us. So this is like the second or third time that someone, because Graybeard, my man Graybeard, was also another person in the games.
You know what was interesting?
Yeah.
I felt that Joel took out Jesus Jr. the way Oberyn Martell got taken out. It was just the way he just came down on a nigga. It was very Oberyn like, and it was very brutal, but it was necessary.
Yeah, it was very much. This is a wrap. Yeah,
and I agree with you. I do like you said, going ham with the purpose, the brutality of it, because especially because I knew what time it was as soon as they showed up on the scene. I'm like, okay, this is a cult. This is a problem. That Chester is the problem, and all these people is an issue. And once, like, it wasn't even no question. Joel was like, nope, y'all gotta go.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I've been moving since the beginning of the series, And again, I know I trust issues apparently, but I'm like, nah, kill everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, ask questions later. So at least to me, this was the one where it's like, yeah, nah, we can't be giving you chances. It's like, all right, thank you for the information. You're dead now.
Yes, especially Joel, when dude is like, why did you do that? He told you the truth. And he's like, yeah, I believed him, and y'all was about to kill me. Like, no, fam, what? I let y'all go and y'all go running back to get some more help to come back and kill me? Nah, bro, this ain't that, this is not that game.
It's not that game. It's not that type of party. And let's be fucking for real. What do I say? Double tap. Take them out. Your ops, man. No ops left behind. Word to 21 Savage. No ops left behind. Okay? And that's what I'm saying. And that's why I fucked with that movement from Joe. Like, that's how you do it.
Planted a seed, but it ain't no sesame. Can't let you bitch niggas stand next to me, Word to 21. And I mean, I cannot stand seeing people get tortured though. So that scene was also really tough on me.
Oh, but yeah. Another Game of Thrones remembering.
Yeah. Oh, God. But at the same time, when the torturing was done and he was just putting the hands to man, I mean, the bar to man, so I was like, yes.
Because it was quick. It was like, blam, like, it was over. So I'm like, all right, cool.
Yep, that's what y'all get.
Yeah. That's what I liked. And when I say like, I'm not saying the episode was bad. I'm just saying like stuff that made me feel any inkling of good inside. That shit.
I think one last thing, just I want to reiterate, I thought the ending made me feel great. Like you said, that was an incredible ending for her to go through all of that, to burst out, have nothing left in the tank, and then there's Joel. That was beautiful, and then them walking off, uncertain what's to happen. I also loved Ellie just telling Joel, here's the knife. Yo, I know you damn near dead, but when they come through, you know what I mean? You gotta be old Joel up on that ass. And, once again, my man woke up and put in that work.
Joel woke up. He stood up and did what he had to do.
Did what he had to do. Can't believe they killed the goddamn horse.
Let's talk about the stuff we didn't like, then. They killed the horse.
I mean, they killed the horse.
And then my nigga said drag that shit back because they was going to chop that bitch up and eat it.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't like that. Didn't like the cannibalism. Y'all niggas had mans hanging upside down with no heads. So telling me you ate the heads first? What was
No, the heads just gotta go. No,
the heads just gotta go.
Yeah, the heads just gotta go.
Like chickens.
Yeah, you gotta store it,
Okay, it's giving me the fever. Like, I'm like sweating because it was just too much. It was too much.
I see that part to me, like, I don't not mans. What were you supposed to do? Not eat people?
Yes. There's other ways. Like, I'm not saying it was not hard, but it wasn't clearly it wasn't impossible.
I mean, mad people, like plane crashes. Like there's that, story of the plane crash where they had to eat each other. It's like shit happens. Be like, I think
don't know.
I think the portrayal of these people in this, of this cult makes it seem like, because it seemed like they were probably murdering people to eat.
That's what I'm saying, and that's what I'm saying. But Ben, and that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, great example of giving like people crashing deserted island. There ain't shit else there. Nothing's edible. Okay, different situation.
Yeah.
Even as fucked up as it is in the land of US of A, niggas is finding it. Niggas is figuring out ways. Niggas is hunting. Niggas is fishing. Niggas is looting and going through stuff. Like everyone else wasn't, not everyone, but as far as I saw up until this point, I didn't hear of any of these other niggas eating people. And they was moving in numbers. I'm saying these people seem like bitch ass niggas that y'all can't do nothing but run and eat each other. Like I'm confused.
Yeah, I think that's I think you hit the nail on the head there, is that these were some bitch asses. Because that's the thing. Ellie steps out and immediately finds a deer. Now, early on, my man was like, yo, you're seeing things when he said he saw a deer. But Ellie saw a deer and a rabbit right away.
When 2 episodes ago, when they met up with the native couples, and granted that was a different area, but the native couple, mans came back with 6 rabbits. And I'm just saying, like, I just don't see it. Like y'all had guns, y'all had ammo, y'all had everything else, but there was nothing to find. Y'all niggas didn't learn to grow. I mean, granted it was winter once again, but y'all been on the move for a minute. Y'all didn't grow nothing. Like I just find it.
Let's take a quick second and look who was in that hall.
Bitch ass niggas.
No. Was there a certain lack of something in that hall? I think the lack of us is coming to play again here, because I only saw it once. There was a lot of whites in that hall. I don't know if there was any color in there.
They got the Nordic blood. Why the Viking didn't come out in them and come go fishing or some shit? What the fuck are you talking about?
What you mean?
People know how to kill and fish and do shit. Why you gotta have somebody of color? Are you trying to say you need somebody of color to get shit done?
I mean, this once again, you do know the story of the Pilgrims, right? Like they bitch asses was dying. They was dying. They were eating each other.
They was dying. So you call them pilgrims?
Basically.
Damn.
Yeah, I mean, this is a story of some pilgrims. These are some religious people, who come into the land, don't know how to take care of themselves, get caught out there in the winter.
But they're not. But once again, we ain't land on Plymouth Rock, Plymouth Rock land on us. But no, that I could see that analogy if they like. Okay, well maybe technically it's true. Like they are from all over, from where they. What did they say they came from?
Way east.
Boston.
Pittsburgh or somewhere?
Pittsburgh. Right. They didn't say they come from Pittsburgh. So this is a new area. They don't know. So technically it's like you're immigrated over there.
When I was watching it, the dudes, when they're Jesus Jr. and then when they're walking around with their beards, I was thinking of that show. What's that? I've never watched it, but it's like a reality show with all these white dudes with the beards, and they're
Survivor?
No. It's something where these dudes are supposed to be like hillbillies, but then they got rich or something. But you know what I'm talking about, but the name isn't coming to you either, right?
They be like fishing with their hands and shit.
No, but the real funny thing behind it is all these dudes are super rich, and they all grew the beards and did all that shit for the show. Like none of them looked like that before the show.
No idea. But that's clearly a reality show where they do that on purpose.
And so that's all I was thinking about when I saw these dudes walking, was that these dudes is frauds. Like they got the beards and shit now, they've been out in the wilderness, so now they growing the beards out. But these dudes are some fucking accountants and shit from Pittsburgh. Like they ain't ready for this type of life, and it shows.
Kathleen bitch ass was probably a librarian, and she got that shit together. So I'm saying I don't know. It's just no excuse to me. Let me back up. There are reasons, right, for eating people and this, that, and the other. I just feel like with so many other groups doing so many different ways to find food, and again, as far as my knowledge of this show, I haven't seen no one else do this shit. Which means to me, there's other ways. There's like, it's not complete barren wasteland. So for them to resort to that, I'm just like, did y'all really try all avenues? Or is this just, you just figured this was the way?
The name of the show is Duck Dynasty.
Duck Dynasty.
Yeah. And these are probably the Dick Dynasty over here because, yeah.
And I mean, somebody help me out. Somebody who's listening, put in the comments, like, am I missing something? Like, I just feel
No, I think we just figured it all out right there. Once again, these are some bitch asses They wasn't ready for this type of life. So they get there and then they start murdering each other and eating each other because
But
that's
I'm
all
not
they
ready
got.
for that either. But I'm not. I'm manning. I don't know, Ben.
Yeah,
Anyways.
well, once again, the lack of us, like, look. The Pilgrims could have manned up. They could have done what they did, but they started eating each other until the natives came through, indigenous people came through and helped them.
Stupid ass, nigga, here's some corn.
They were stupid asses. Like, come on, fam. Like, they were sitting up in that fort eating each other. Google it. They was eating each other too. This is not,
think the vegetation, like this.
No.
Not thinking.
No, they ain't thinking.
Yeah, not thinking. But okay. Stuff we didn't like, continue.
All right. I did not like, obviously we did not like the whole, dude.
Chester.
Chester the molester, going at Ellie.
I didn't like that. And I really was hoping it was going to go there. And then it did. And I'm like, what the fuck?
And then that's when it just, I get it once again. I'm probably going to hear it in the comments. This is from the game and blah, blah. But Jesus, like, y'all keep telling me that this game has the greatest writing of all time. And what turned this man into a complete buffoon, in the last moments of his life? Because that's where I'm just like, this dude, okay, as soon as the fire starts, fuck this girl. I'm out. I'm closing the door on this bitch and I'm burning that hoe up in there. Ha ha ha, I win.
He looked at the fire and said, I gotta go molest. Like, what?
What? Like, who writes this? I'm sorry. No. Like, okay, his fingers broke. He's angry. What? Your man's just got murdered by Shorty. She is obviously about that life, fam. I don't, what is driving him at that point to be like, let me, molest as the fire is falling on top of me?
This reminds me of another dickhead, Kathleen. You are surrounded by 28 seconds later. And you must get your revenge. Are you dead ass right now?
You're right. Damn it. Twice in one show. We have like complete idiot boss figures. Like, what is this? Like, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. But it was like, okay, not only is this dark, then it just got dumb and cartoonish to me. It was like, Jesus, come on, fam, for real. Like I said, as soon as I see the fire, shorty, whap, lock the door, stand out there, toast some marshmallows, watch your bitch ass get burned up. Call the crew, call the family in. Let's watch this. Ooh, nope, no. Like, what was your plan? Not only that, your hanging food is in there, dog. You not thinking like
Ben, call him DCEU because there was no plan. He was just in that bitch.
Wow. Waiting for Flashpoint, right? To come save everything.
DCU cometh. But bro, like that's
what I'm saying. Like, people keep telling me this game is like the greatest writing ever. And I'm like, man, there's still Spider-Man, God of War.
But also, this game is 10 plus years old now, right? And my thing is,
but they still be talking about it.
I probably think it's still, again, it's different when you're playing.
This shit could have been 50 years ago, and it still had been a cartoon. Well,
Ben, also, we talked about it before, the different mediums hit differently. It probably, especially when you're fully immersed in the game, making the decisions, doing the physicality of whatever button press you got to do or joystick move, like, it's different. It feels different. So I'm not going to say that. Like
that shit makes me want to throw up to imagine that this is in the game. Like, you have to fight off a rapist. Like, I swear, people like there's like once again, I just like I don't know, fam.
It's like, why would you? And he was already giving me those vibes from jump, but then for you, as you said, that in that situation specifically,
like, okay, I've never understood that. That is something like that I'm not built for. That is just not in my hardware or hardwire, anything, right? But sometimes I've just never understood because I can't even, like, hey, if it's cold outside, I ain't trying to get no, and somebody's like, yo, let's go smash. I'm like, man, it's cold out here, like, this man trying to smash in fire. Like, I don't care if Shorty's like, yo, let's fuck right here in this fire. I'm out, dog, like, no, ma, we going outside and smashing in the snow, you know what I mean?
Not no, ma.
Like, I'm saying if, if it was like a willing participant in this situation, even then, like, why would you do that? Yeah, so it wasn't a willing participant. You hate this woman.
And it was a child.
It was
not
a child.
Woman, it's a child.
It was a child that you wanted to see dead.
Or wanted him for her. No, because he wanted him for himself.
You wanted it for yourself. What you thought y'all was gonna you Khaleesi now, nigga? You gonna survive the fire? Like that's it wasn't like he was talking that God shit, like that. Like if he'd like, been like, shoot me, David, or something like James or whatever, shoot me, James, I've got God on my side, If he'd done that earlier, I'd be like, well, yeah, he's the type of idiot who thinks the fire won't burn him.
He said I got God and enemy on my side. Like, boy, man. You're right. As I'm thinking about it, and I said it as a joke from this meme, this old video meme, but he reminded me of like one of the worst anime characters, like anime villains, where like they do shit like that. Like, yeah, they do wild. Like, it's like, bro, we about to die, and they're like,
"This is fine.
This is fine." Like, it's just confusing.
I just was wondering. I was like, "Am I the only one?" Like I said, this episode, well done, well constructed. Where I'm like, "Ooh, this is tense. Oh shit." Even though, like I say, the problem with this show is because I know Ellie is definitely not, But no, once again, I don't know what could happen to Ellie. I know she's gonna survive, so I don't know what terrible shit is gonna happen to her before, So, this is driving up. I'm like, oh fuck, what's gonna happen here? Mm-hmm. And then like, even Ellie finally killing the dude was like, oh my god, this is graphic. And then her going outside was like, oh, this is great. But there's that 2-3 minutes where I'm just like, what the fuck am I watching right now?
Why is this happening? Right. I would like this to stop.
As soon as the fire started, I was like, okay, he's gonna run outside, shut the door on the shorty, and then Joel gonna come up, kill him, bust in, save Ellie.
Yeah. One interesting thing that this episode brought up, that other stuff aside, like when she was trying to basically get her way out of there by like, fucking with his head, when she bit him and she was like, well, now you're infected, right? Now, let's take that a step further. In reality, though, if she does hurt or bite somebody or do that, would she? And I guess not. No. But would she infect somebody? No. Right? Okay.
No.
Because she's not an active infection. She has the antidote essentially in her blood or something.
Yeah. It was a nice try, though. That was definitely, Shorty is swift. Like,
that's why she was very smart this episode.
Even how she took out James, boy, I had to give it to her on that one because she put that butcher knife to work. Like, whap, one hit.
Even when she
one hitter quitter.
When she was doing that right before the end, when she was running from David and she grabbed the fucking stick, I yelled out, "Good girl!" Like when she grabbed the fire stick, I said, "Yes, throw that nigga's head!" Like,
I was like mad why she threw it, but I get it because she needed range, so she knows she's a little girl.
She was just trying to get distance. That's all.
Yeah.
So.
And then I would have grabbed like 2 or 3 of them and set that whole thing on fire. I would have been set that whole thing on fire, but
I would have been throwing at that shit like fucking axe throwing at that nigga. Like I would have went in on that. But you do what you like. She did what she could in the situation she was in. She was fucking terrified, and I understand. And that's the first time. I think that's the first, which is interesting. Again, the word "interesting" keeps coming up because a lot of terrifying shit has happened to Ellie, like truly terrifying shit. The shit in the museum.
She was terrified in the museum.
The clicker. Right. But I mean, this was a different level of terrifying. And then it keeps speaking to me back to what you kept saying about not wanting to see the worst in humanity and all this other stuff. Like, Ben, all this show has shown me is humanity's worse than these fucking infected.
Yes, easily. And that's what I'm saying. That is like the obvious thing. That's like The Walking Dead. The big thing about The Walking Dead is that at one point Rich says, we are the Walking Dead. It's not the zombies, it's the people. And it's like, whoa, wow. And that was dope the first time I read it. Yeah, it was dope the first time I read it. But now when you see that, that's also been pounded into my head by the George Romero, by every zombie story ever. That's always the thing. Like, I talk about Dawn of the Dead, the one where it takes place in the mall, where for most of the movie, the people have control of the zombies. They're just chilling and living in the mall. And then, like 3/4 of the way in the movie, these fucking raiders come through and just start rubbing everybody out. And the first time I saw it, it just wrecked me because I'm just like, and it's a pretty cartoonish scene. These dudes come in like Mad Max and shit, but it still just ruined me because it was like, damn, man, like it always is other fucking people. And that's the thing about this scene, and that's why Ellie is truly terrified because death is one thing, but this is a fate worse than death. You know what I mean? And this is
Yeah.
something Ellie's used to dealing with death. Okay, these clickers come through, they gonna eat me. I die. I've
Right.
seen that happen to many a person before.
Right.
But something like this,
it's on another level, and it's just one of the, especially with children, anything involving violence or the assault or anything negative to children or young people, like that is particularly something that I do not fuck with.
Yeah.
Do not.
No.
So that's why it just hit me so bad. And generally, I just shouldn't have watched this before bed. This was the last thing I watched. I watched a lot of things because we're reviewing a lot of different things right now, and I watched this right before bed. And I said, and I did not know again.
Rookie mistake.
Rookie mistake, and I should know better. But I just did not think this episode was going to be like that.
Jeez.
I did not. And I was like, are you dead ass? And this is what this is the last vision in my head. And even with that warm, thank God, the warmth, the little bit of dwindling warmth at the end with Joel, I still was covered in cold. Like, I was just like, this is the most horrible feeling.
Yeah, I watched it early in the morning, so it pretty much set the tone for my day. So it was like,
rookie mistake.
Yeah, it doesn't matter when you watch this shit, because no matter when you watch it, it's going to affect you. That's why, like I said, I turned off BMF this season. I'm never going back to it. I never went back to Snowfall after Saint killed his homie in the park. I was done after that. I'm like, I'm good. I'm sure, these actors are exceptional, etc. I'll see them in something else.
Bodies.
Yeah, I'm just like, I've seen it before. And, oh, man, hopefully we can get somebody else to host this for season 2 of Lack of Us, because I'm like, I got one more episode, and
we got one more episode.
And I'm glad this shit don't come back for at least a year, maybe 2, God willing.
You're like, please don't come back.
Yeah, like, I know you're coming back already, but
take your time.
Yeah, take your time. This is not like, Castle Black, House of Dragon. I'm like, please come back. I can't believe I gotta wait 2 years for you.
Cause I get it. There's gonna be hard times and easy times. There's gonna be good times and bad times, and it's just like, damn, this is a lot of bad.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing with House of Dragon, where it's like, Game of Thrones is some of its worst. We talked about this on Castle Black. I fast forwarded through the whole torture season the second time I watched it for Castle Black, because I could not watch my man.
Damn, the torture season, not just the season.
It was a whole season, and that's what killed me when I rewatched it. That whole season is spent torturing dude, and that shit is just like, wow, like, I get it, but I don't, and that's just not the type of entertainment that I need in my life.
Yeah,
I be watching shit like Ted Lasso now, like Abbott Elementary. Like,
I'm about to say we watching Abbott Elementary. I'm not.
Yeah, like, man, last week was good too, and it's just like, I don't know, man. This type of stuff, and people were like, but this is the drama and this is the bit. I'm just like, yeah, but I don't need it. And there's ways to do this without doing that. There's ways to have, like I say, to me, the best, I still have never played this game, but the best writing in video games for me is God of War and PlayStation 5 for Spider-Man, PS4 Spider-Man. Like, those are the two games, the first 2 games that I ever played that had me in tears multiple points while I'm playing them. And neither of them involved, the assault on a child. Well, God of War does. So, yeah, there's that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Well,
it's just, I don't know.
It's different.
It's different.
It's different.
It's very different.
Yeah.
Any predictions you have for the last episode 9?
I don't think Joel making it.
Something's telling me, and I put as my point, this is gonna end badly, huh? Like finally the love is reciprocated, and it's just like, all right, this is probably gonna be the end for him, huh?
Like, I know that Joel is, I don't know if he's dead, but I know he ain't in all of part 2. I think he makes it to part 2, at least in the game. As far as I know.
And then something happens?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. In the and I also know coming up, Joel makes a big choice that, mad people play the game, disagree with completely, and it made people pissed off, and I guess that's about to happen in episode 9. So I guess we're coming to that choice, and unless
more
they change
pissed off
something.
than saying I can't take you further anymore, go with my brother. Like,
Yeah.
like what? I was just as mad as Ellie. I said, are you dead ass right now?
I've seen people, I know we are gonna see his brother again. We're gonna see that whole area again back in part 2.
Jackson Hole.
Yeah, Jackson Hole plays a bigger part in part 2.
Yeah.
We've even seen, a character who plays a huge part in part 2 in the background of Jackson Hole, right? We saw her in that episode.
Right.
Yeah.
Speaking of Jackson Hole, just kind of a technical detour. Someone confirmed a few weeks ago. They were like, remember how we were like, oh, we thought he was tripping. We thought they was building the gallows. And we was like, no, we just saw a lot of bad stuff. Someone confirmed, like, no, they were building gallows.
Yeah, and so I think that is for part 2 in the game when they do go back there. And the person that we do see is the woman, the young girl who Ellie yelled at, who was standing off in the background, and Ellie's like, what are you looking at over there?
Right.
And I think that girl becomes Ellie's love interest in part 2. Or one of Ellie's love interests in part 2. Yeah. Because I know that part 2 revolves around Ellie and her major love interest, after
because she's gonna be like at least mid to late teens at that point.
Yeah.
Well, she's already mid-teens. So
I think we skipped forward a few years or something.
Okay.
I'm not 100, but she's aging already, because like this first season took place over like at least 6-7 months now.
Right.
Yeah, because they were together.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, it had like a 3-month jump, and then they were already together, and then every time we see them, time has passed.
And she's 15, right? I thought she was 15.
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So 16, 17, yeah, time for that.
She's not 17 yet, but she probably will be.
Yeah, that's when she will be. Teenage love. Don't hurt me again.
Yeah, but thanks y'all for confirming our worst fears. They were in fact building gallows, so...
And I love how it's like, Joel just rolls up and Tommy's like, oh, whoa.
Right, like it's not no explanation,
like,
nothing like, hey guy, just building a machine of death.
Yeah, hey, don't look over there, guys. It
was very Wizard of Oddish, like, oh, don't look behind the curtain. So I was like, okay.
And I guess that explains why they didn't need a jail.
Ooh, right. More so commentary about the future. I said, does it feel like each episode since Henry has gotten progressively worse? And when I say worse, I just don't mean, not structurally, not as a show. I'm saying in terms of how it makes us feel terrible about life, about humanity, and just darkness.
Yes. And once again, I don't know, man. I feel like the people who need this type of stuff in their life have not had enough darkness and drama in their life. Because me, as someone who's had a lot of darkness and drama in his life, that's what I mean. Where I'm like, after a while, I'm like, I don't really need this type of stuff. That's why I love things like Ted Lasso, and that's why I love things like even because I know you brought him up before. I mean, we always talk about this, how you don't like the Boy Scout version of Superman.
Yeah,
but to me, like All-Star Superman, which is nothing but the ultimate Boy Scout, the ultimate everything will work out. I will save the world no matter what. And the ultimate, you're all greater than I am. That Superman loves humanity more than he loves himself, like Jesus does, where it's like you can all be greater than I am, which a lot of people miss, in Christianity, is that's what Jesus tells all his followers, is that all of y'all will be greater than me. And people miss that part. So I think that's the thing that, that's what I love. And it's also something me and Mello Brown, we talk about this a lot. It's one of the hardest things to write is a hopeful character, and that's why I love Captain America and how they managed to do that in those films in the MCU, where Steve Rogers is this super earnest character. And it's also what happens in Everything Everywhere All at Once. It's like the lead is just super earnest, just be kind in the face of everything.
Yeah. But see, the thing, like you using Captain America as an example of that, like I see because of the way he was written, and the way he's acted, let's be for real.
Yeah.
I see the genuineness in it. Like it doesn't come off as cheesy or corny, which is why, like I've always said, I famously don't like Boy Scout version of Superman, but because I've always felt propaganda behind it. For at least this MCU type stuff, like when it comes to Captain America, like I just felt like, he really believes that shit. And not only that, he wasn't just talking to talk, he was still fucking shit up too. You know what I'm saying? It's like when you're like, oh, let's kumbaya and I'm not gonna hurt a flight. I'm like, nah, let's be fucking for real. Violence is the answer sometimes. And believe it or not, but like Captain America believes in violence too. You understand? Like he makes shit happen when it needs to happen, and at the same time, he's about hope and all this other stuff. And to that greater point of wanting to see characters and stories that sow hope and positivity into you versus
everything is terrible.
Shit, everything is terrible.
And that's the problem, because I see this, a lot of people brought it up in our comments when I made these comments in the first few episodes, when I kept talking about how if you look at the numbers in any tragedy, in any great, natural disaster, etc., whatever, terrorist attack, whatever you want to call it, people come together more than they fall apart. People help each other far more than they hurt each other. And so I think that is always the weaker writing, to just show people like this, like every person they run into damn near, other than like the Native Americans and, Henry and Sam and, the first couple. Beyond that, it's like everyone else wants to kill you. And not only that, I mean, Jesus Christ, like we have two different bosses who are just complete idiots.
Yeah.
For no good reason other than like revenge, or, my emotions. And it's just, that's that's so silly. And that's what I mean. That's something else Bomani was talking about. Like, even if you've never dealt drugs, right? The Wire shows you the humanity of these people who do. And that's when it becomes like, this was not humanity. This was just cartoonish. This was a cartoon, mustache twirling villain, just like Shorty was. Both of them are just like silly villains who are like, I had to ask twice, how did you ever get people to follow you? Yeah. Beyond Jesus, beyond, your brother or whatever with the first one, it's like, these are two morons. At least what we are shown on screen of them.
Well, I mean, we can ask that of people who, was leading the country not too long ago.
I know, but come on. I get it, but come on.
How do people follow them? How do people buy into that? Why?
I know. Well, I get it. Every writer wants to, make a point about Trump too. It's like, all right, fam. But, at certain points you can't do that twice in one season then. You can't have, and beyond that, like, okay, I can understand why these people would follow them. Before the comments come at me, I can understand why they would follow them. But don't on screen then twice show these characters make just illogical to the most. It's whatever.
I get it. I get it. It's infuriating.
At least Shorty for wanted revenge. I can somewhat get that.
Bruh, 28 seconds later, right behind you.
Yeah, but
Juggernaut is right behind you.
I know, but fuck it. Dude killed her brother. I'm gonna get my get back.
You got to be alive to get back.
No, she figured she was going to get the get back and then die. Fuck it. It's all,
But you got to be alive to even do it. I guess you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I know.
Not even enjoy it. To accomplish the act of getting revenge, you have to be alive first.
Well, she thought she had time. I don't know how, but, like, yeah. But then this one, like, I like, dude should have just bounced. Like, it wasn't like he was like, I want to die. There was nothing leading up to this. It was just like, my fingers broke. I'm going to die. Like, what?
I thought you have a whole flock, David.
Like, yeah, you had a whole flock, fam. Fuck them. This one little girl. Like, this one little girl.
She pissed me off so bad. Like,
so bad. I was really in love with James, and you killed him. I don't know. Like, give me something.
He's like, give me something. I don't know. Yeah, I'm very scared. And scared, it's just, again, for my mental health specifically, I am a tad nervous for the last episode of The Last of Us.
Yeah. We actually were given the last two, to review ahead of time. So we now have both in our possession. And I know Tatiana probably felt like me after watching that from 8th. I'm like, yeah, I need a few days off on that at least.
I needed some time. At
least. I probably won't watch the next one until like next week.
Until you have to record.
So I have to, damn it. Like, shit.
We know how the story begins and how it ends. Let's just say that.
It's The Last of Us, as I've said many times on here, and it ain't the last of a lot of us, folks,
All right. I think we've said what we had to say about episode 8 of The Last of Us. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Whether you love what you heard or hated every minute of it, we still appreciate you because you're still fucking here. So make sure you're doing a few things for me. Make sure you're subscribed to us on your favorite platform. I'm just going to say platform because we are a podcast, but we're also on the videos. You're probably watching this on YouTube as well, youtube.com/ForAllNerdsTV. Just type in ForAllNerds into your Googles because we will pop up in various locations, such as the aforementioned, your very favorite podcast platform. You'll also see us on Twitch, twitch.tv/ForAllNerds. And also, if you appreciate what you hear, if you like to hate watch or hate listen, great, because we still can use you to the best of your abilities because we appreciate your support. That's also support, hate watching, haha. Hit us up at our Patreon, patreon.com/ForAllNerds. If you can spare $1, sir. If you can spare us $1, you can help us be more professional and to get more opportunities such as us reviewing The Last of Us, rather. Patreon.com/ForAllNerds, where every tier is a great tier, and you get special privileges such as Patreon-only episodes, Patreon-only reviews, access to free shit. We get shit all the time that we pass on only to our Patreon members. Hit that up. You can also go to ForAllNerds.com to get some fire merch. More fire merch is coming on the way. It's always on the way. We're going to put it up soon, hopefully. We have that T'Challa and Friends shirt that you see us wearing a lot. We have the Wong Was Right up there. We still have our TeePublic page. We're starting to move all that stuff over to this site, to the ForAllNerds.com, because we tired of paying the man. We got to pay the black people, you know what I'm saying? And the blacks, and the coloreds and all that other stuff. So, because when you
Negroes,
and that's the thing, because and just so y'all clear where this money goes, it goes back into the show. Okay, this is how we pay our staff. This is how whenever we got to go someplace and pay for someone to be there or film us or whatever work. This is how we do it, y'all, okay? So thank you so much. That's how we get the equipment to be doing shit like this. Appreciate you. Anything else? Oh, follow us on the socials, at ForAllNerds. Views from 616. We want to see stuff about Marvel, Castle Black, about Game of Thrones. Myself, Tatiana King, all over the interwebs. DJ BenHaMeen, all over the interwebs. What else? Anything else?
October 19th, 2023, we will be at the I can't remember.
National Museum
of African American History and Culture.
There you are.
There we go. This Black Smithsonian, October 19th, 2023 in Washington, D.C., in the DMV, in the area. We up in there. I'm pretty 99% sure it is Howard Homecoming weekend, so it is going down. I'll have more information about some after parties and all that stuff coming soon. But yes, it's going down, baby. October 19th. October 19th, 2023. Go to the website I don't know. Say it again. NH something.
National Museum. Just remember, National Museum.
The National Museum of African American History and Culture. Go to the website. Check out I wanted to say display, but that's not the proper word for it. The exhibit. The exhibit on Afrofuturism, which is opening in March, actually. Yeah. So you can go check that out right now. It's March now, so it's opening soon. And we will be doing a panel, to extol the virtues of Afrofuturism and a bunch of other stuff with a bunch of fly people. Tickets will be on sale, available very soon. We'll let you know when that happens. Come back for more information. Thank you, as always, for the love, support. This shit right here is huge. If you don't realize it's huge, ForAllNerds is at the motherfucking Smithsonian.
At the Oprah Winfrey Theater.
Oh, nigga. Oprah, nigga. What?
Nah, it's a big deal. We're really, 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 humbled by it. So, for real.
Super. Amazing.
It's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of other big deals coming. Hopefully, by that time, I will be able to announce this comic book that I've been talking about for the longest. Hopefully, by then, it will be out. So,
y'all have no idea.
A lot of things will be coming together.
Y'all head gonna be fucked up.
Fucked up, man. I'm telling y'all. I know I've been hyping it for a long time, but And you ain't seen
Nah.
shit yet. Once it comes out, oh my God, I'm gonna be. I will never stop talking.
This ain't no
about
hype
book.
train. This is for real, for real. This is
For
for
real.
real, for real.
Yeah.
For real, for real.
Peace. See y'all next week. The lack of us. Thank you. We're back for the finale. We'll probably be live on Twitch for that joint. You know, we'll have to come around and commiserate. So twitch.tv/ForAllNerds. Make sure you're following. Get ready. Thank you. Peace.